Welcome to Steps Forward with Ricki, a weekly walking podcast designed to help you take steps forward in your life and your day. I made a list the other day of every single thing I want in a partner. I don't think I've ever concentrated so much on a homework assignment in my whole entire life. Like I literally sat there with my headphones on. There wasn't music in my headphones. I was just sitting there in silence with the headphones, like white noise. And I wrote out a list. And it was a detailed, long list. Not like crazy things on the list where this person had to be perfect, but it was just like these things that I wrote out and then I put it away. Well, it's hanging somewhere, but it's not something I look at every single day. I do believe this works. First and foremost, my voice is obviously like raspy because I don't feel well, okay? So it doesn't usually sound like this, although it's always a little raspy. Second of all, let's go back to the list. I never used to do things like this, but I have found that I have actually been able to manifest things by writing them out. It's like a vision board, right? You have a vision for your life, for your business, for what you want. Last year I wrote out, I want to be, I'm a top 100 podcast in the USA. I make $10,000 a month. I have 100K followers on TikTok. And like all of those came true. And I don't know if it was because I wrote them out or because I thought about them all the time or because I took the action that required me to take to get to them. Maybe a combination of all of it. But writing something out also allows you to become more comfortable or more aware with what you really want. I mean, really, truly what you want. And then you realize what you maybe forgot to add, right? You meet somebody out and you're like, okay, you think about your list and you're like, wait, I also don't, I don't want that. Like, for example, I was out the other day and I met a really cute guy and we were playing pool and I was like, oh, he's so cute. He was forward, he was direct, he was confident, he was tall, he had brown hair, he was scruffy looking but handsome and put together, all the things. Like Jewish but maybe Italian, I don't know. And we had a great night together at this bar, but then he was smoking the vape. And I was like, no, I can't do that, right? Like, okay, maybe if it's like once in a while and you're planning on quitting, fine. But I forgot that I didn't put that on my list. I didn't put like, don't smoke weed or don't smoke the vape or anything like that. And so I remember just like I went home and I put on my list like, okay, and deal breakers, like simple deal breakers. And it's been very eye-opening for me. And it's not holding me back from dating other people or trying new things, but it's like, I already know what I want. Like I know exactly what I want. I really, truly do. I don't know if you know that. Maybe you're listening to this and you know exactly what you want, or maybe you know what you want and you're too scared to admit what you want because you think it doesn't exist. I know what I want exists. I really, in my heart, truly believe that. And writing it out made me excited because I was like, oh man, this is awesome. Like this person's waiting for me somewhere. Like, I don't know, he's hiding, but come out wherever you are. Like it has to exist because that's what I want. Does it have to be perfect? No. But the main things that I want on that list, I believe it's because they're meant for me. They're meant for you. Our goals and our dreams and our visions, they can adjust and they can change and we can be flexible in our approach. But what we desire is for us, or at least some of it is for us. And I know what I'm looking for. So I'm willing to go on dates and have some fun and have new experiences because I don't get attached to them anymore because I know what I'm looking for. And everything that's less isn't necessarily me being destructive and me not seeing the red flags. It's me just being like, listen, until the green flag is here, like I'm having some fun and it's okay. For instance, and something else I realized is like I need to stop telling guys about my podcast because every guy that I meet or like hook up with or whatever, go on a date with is such a piece of content for me because I learned something about myself or I learned something that's like ridiculous and I want to share it with you. But then I'm like, fuck, they know about my podcast. Like they're going to listen to my podcast. But you know what? It's fine. Proceed with caution. Speaking speaking of proceeding with caution, I just want to share this with you because this is just a good example of me knowing what I want, but also being open to new experiences, not because I think that they're going to become what I want, but because they teach me more about myself and give me even more clarity of why it's so important for me to keep this list in mind and keep my needs in mind and to continue working on myself to get there. So first and foremost, I met a guy at a gym yesterday. He's probably going to listen to this. So he's really cute, really handsome, etc. And he approached me like, these are little things that I look out for. I always look for like, are they direct? Do they come up to me? Like, are they confident? Like, I'm very, very attracted to confident people. So like, I was like, oh, he's so cute. He's working out, blah, 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 all these different things, comes up to me and really straightforward, really transparent, great chemistry. And we were just chit-chatting. And he tells me that he is in an open relationship or a polyamorous relationship. And if you don't know what that is, it's somebody that is in a relationship, like has a long-term partner, but they have other relationships. And like, but the primary relationship is the person that they live with or the person that they're married to. But like, they tell each other everything. It's like, they have other relationships. And that's something that I've always known about, like just in general. Like I've learned a lot about that, not for myself. I'm not interested in that, but I've learned about it. And obviously he was just like, I would love to take you out. Like I love to go out with you. Like you're so cute, whatever, but I want to be transparent with you. This is my situation. I didn't really think much of it. I mean, I had some questions because like curiosity. So I went out with him, but I knew in the back of my head, like, that's not what I'm looking for, right? Like I'm a traditional person in terms of relationships. Like I'm looking for my man. I'm looking for, us to live a non-traditional life, an unconventional life, but like with traditions. And I'm definitely not looking to share. So anyways, we like have a great night and we go back to my apartment. We're just like hanging out, no big deal. And, it was something for me where it was like, I realized that like, he's such a nice guy, by the way. He's a great guy. He's really cool and he's really hot. And like, it's so interesting. For the first time ever, it just made me realize like, when you are not attached and when you know what you want, everything else can be pretty just fun. And I was like, he asked me if I was like open to like seeing him again and etc. And like, I really didn't know in the moment. I'm not, because like, it's not what I'm looking for. And it just goes too, like once is fun, but like if you do it again, it's like that becomes a blockage, right? And I think that's a great thing to apply to your life. Like having experiences that teach you things, open you up. But if you keep doing something that isn't directly taking you towards what you want, then it can become destructive and it can actually block it. So, after he left, I just was like, that was really fun. And we like made out, hooked up a little bit, whatever. And then I was just like, wow, it feels so good to be so unattached, and not in a bad way. Just like when you know what you want, everything else is secondary. It's like I can enjoy myself. I can learn to meet new people and have fun and have crushes on people. And also very important for you and your life and your business and everything that you do, like not putting people on a pedestal, right? Like if I had just met this guy at a gym and we had never gone out last night, like I may have made up a million stories about how he was this or he was that and he was perfect and blah, blah, blah. And I would have taken myself off the pedestal and put him above it. And when we do shit like that, whether it's in our lives or in our businesses, in our careers, then we automatically become second. And so what I have learned so much through dating other people and through meeting people out and through my experiences is like, we don't know people when we meet them. We don't even know them after we meet them. It takes so long to know somebody. And so before you put someone on a pedestal, you better put your fucking self on one first. Like you are on the pedestal no matter what. And if you know what you want, it's okay to have some fun in the meantime. It doesn't mean that you're destructive and not looking at the red flags. Like, listen, this guy was on fire, like literally on fire. And not because he was a bad guy or he is a bad guy, just because like if someone doesn't have the certain things that you're looking for, those are red flags. And I always say you can't turn a red flag green, but it's true. And red flags don't make someone a bad person. They just make them not your person. But it was so fun. And I was just like, wow, I'm so much more open-minded. And, I don't know about you, but I can always tell if I'm interested in somebody. Like I have such a shift in energy. Like my energy just like goes up and up and down very fast, whether I'm interested in someone or not. So I knew that I wasn't interested eventually, but like it was an interesting thing for me to be in. And I am proud of myself for like how far I've come of just unattaching myself to an outcome, unattaching myself to these beautiful looking guys that I meet every day that are very, very good looking and very sexy, that I'm just like, yeah, you're sexy, you're great, but like, you're not any sexier or greater than me. Like we're not equals. Maybe I'm here, you're here, whatever, but you're not better than me. And the person that I meet, the person that I meet and want to be with forever, like I don't necessarily want to think that they're better than me, but I want to be like, I've won the motherfucking prize, right? And I want them to be like, but I won the prize. And I'm like, well, isn't that great? We're both winners. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that, where I'm like looking at this person, not because they're better than me, but because I'm just so lucky to have them, because we both think we're better than each other. I mean, we're better than ourselves. Like we both look at each other and we're like, I got the prize. And then I'm like, no, I got the prize. And we both won. And that's what I'm looking for. And it's on my list. And my list is important. And your list is important for your life, for your business. Like your vision is important. Your vision can change as you change. But what you want and what you desire, that's important. And you can have fun and live your life in the midst of it. Does that mean that you should be destructive and get high all day and emotionally eat and not take care of yourself and like just look at that and be like, whatever, it's fine until I get what I want? Fuck no, because you won't get what you want. Yeah, you can't be perfect, but like you got to be taking care of yourself. But I think it's okay for you to have nights where you go out and you do whatever you want to do and you have fun and you have crazy experiences. Like that doesn't take away from manifesting what you want. It teaches you more about yourself. The thing you don't want to do is like getting caught in the loop, right? Like doing destructive things or having these experiences that end up turning into 8-month experiences or situations that you're all of a sudden stuck in. I love sharing this stuff because, a year and a half ago, I wasn't even open to dating. A year and a half ago, I think I was in a relationship. Hope I wasn't dating. But even 6 months ago, I was just so in my own world in a good way. Working, not realizing I was getting burnt out, hyper-focused. And now I'm more open. My heart's more open, but I know what I want. And it's okay that it might take some time. I'm willing to give time because I'll make up for time. I'll get forever, right? You'll get forever with what you want, with the person that you want. And I'm not looking to just meet somebody. I'm looking to meet somebody that's for me. And sometimes it makes me sad because I think like if I hadn't smoked for so long, if I hadn't been so destructive, or I hadn't done this or I hadn't done that, like maybe I would have him faster, but maybe it wouldn't be the right person because he wouldn't get who I am now because of all of that. And if you are him and you are listening to this and you don't fucking call me, no, seriously, learning what you want, knowing what you want, having faith that it's out there is half the battle. I mean, when I walked away from weed, like I knew what life I wanted. Like I didn't know all the details. Like I wasn't like, I'm going to make this much money or I'm going to do this or I'm going to have a program or any of that. I just knew that there was more and I trusted it. And I believed that by walking away from weed and my relationship ending and following my heart and getting on the road and doing these things that made me feel good, that I would get there. Whatever there was for me, it didn't matter. I didn't need to know what it was. I didn't need to know what it was. I just needed to know that I was on my way by making the right decisions. So if you're listening to this, and you don't know exactly how to get to the next step, but you know that there's something out there that can help you take it, whether that's ending a relationship or walking away from weed or joining my walking away from weed program that starts tomorrow, or, maybe ending the situationship that you're in or moving somewhere, but you don't have the details, like you don't have the how you're going to make the money, how you're going to do this, how you're going to do that, what are you going to do, blah, 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 bullshit. It's okay. Follow what feels good, not good destructive, but good. Like you are energized by this. And that when you walk away from that thing, you're still energized by it. A good constructive energy. You are the author of the story. And every chapter will have different edits that you'll make along the way. And just remember that like your list matters. Your desires are important. But you can't just sit back and desire something without doing something that brings you closer to what you desire. Taking care of yourself, being more open, not putting people on pedestals, showing up for shit, understanding the loops that you're stuck in, investing in yourself, going on that walk you keep putting off, setting goals, following through, being more open to new experiences, taking care of yourself. It doesn't have to be perfect. But remember who you're trying to be. Remember what you're trying to attract in your life. What version of you right now needs to step it up to do that? I know for me, I'm working on different things, and I know that like in my life, in my business, my walking away from weed program, like I'm still figuring out some things with that. There's a lot of stress there for me because I love it and I love helping people, and I'm also trying to expand, and it's been really challenging for me to allow myself to like really realize that like I am the niche and to own who I am. And you think about money and you think about all this different stuff, and I do my very best to go back to like, you don't have to know how, Ricki. You just have to know that there's more. And that you don't have to give up or walk away from what you have now to add more necessarily. Or maybe you do. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't want to. But I keep telling myself that you don't need to know how you're going to make it all happen yet. How you're going to become this big speaker, this podcaster, like a Joe Rogan status, or find the love of your life and live this life that you love, of service, of fulfillment, of making good money, of impact, of excitement. Like you don't have to know how. You just have to know that it's for you. So when I get all caught up in how am I going to, do this, or how am I going to build that, or how am I going to make money, or, what if this doesn't work out, or how am I going to become this thing or that thing, I remember to tell myself it's not about how. I don't need to know how. Maybe I'm not supposed to know how. It's about taking a first step and believing that the how will come as long as I keep moving. It always does. So keep moving and trust where you're going. If you're doing the right things, you're going the right places. But if what you're doing feels hard, you're probably going the wrong way. We start tomorrow, last call for the Walking Away from Weed program. If you're listening to this, I'm glad my podcast helps you. But if you're still smoking, it's not helping you that much. So take an action, write a new story, sign up for the program. You can sign up in the show notes. There's a link. You can DM me on Instagram. Doors are closing. And I think it's time for you to open a new one. I love you guys, and I will see you next Monday.